slice if you're left-handed. Welcome back, everybody, to Homeownership Explained, the podcast that cares a whole bunch about the greatest investment of your life. That's not how I say it. The podcast that helps you save time, money. That's what it is. Welcome back, everybody, to Homeownership Explained, the podcast that gets a little bit better every single second about saving you time, money, and stress when it comes to managing the biggest investment of your life, your home. And the biggest investment of my friend Dan's life is this podcast. So that's why I made him a producer. Hi, Dan.
Hey, everyone.
Anyways, today we are going to be speaking with Mike Campbell from Victory Pest Management, where he will tell us about the difference between an animal and a pest and how to keep them out of our house. He will also talk about gutters, crawl spaces, the Navy, and how little television Dan watches.
That's right.
That sounds good when I say it that way. I'll leave it in. That's one for you.
Thank you.
Got that. But before that, let's go ahead and hear from this episode's sponsor. Are you someone that's been waiting for the right time to buy their first home? Are you a current homeowner that has seen their monthly recurring debt grow harder and harder to handle? Or are you someone who owns a home with a low interest rate that's looking to navigate buying something bigger without making a financial mistake? The Hood team at Mason Mac Mortgage has solutions for all of these common problems and more. As a direct, independent mortgage lender with over 130 years of experience, Mason Mac offers direct-to-investor loans, brokered loans, and local bond programs that suit the needs of clients aiming to navigate the modern market. To start a conversation about your homeownership goals, call 804-335-9683 or visit weloverva.com today to learn more. All right, let's see. The shot. Yeah, you're already flared out like you're supposed to be. Have you done a podcast before?
I have never done a podcast before.
Streak is still alive, baby.
Okay, hold on. Before you ask that question, you're asking me if I've ever done a podcast.
Yeah, I'm leaning on you for this, buddy.
Oh, okay.
You don't know what's going on here? Welcome back, everybody, to Homeownership Explained, the podcast that is quite obsessed with helping you manage the biggest investment of your life, your home. My guest today is my personal solution for pest management, compost in my gutters, and a wife who heard something, saw something, is worried about something. Mike Campbell with Victory Pest Management. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Ooh, that voice sounds good. Sounds gravelly. Tell me a little bit about Victory.
So Victory Pest Management is about 7 years old. Okay. My partner started the business on his own about 7 years ago with a blue pickup truck and some used equipment. And he started going out and doing termites and getting customers and things like that while he was working for another business, doing crawl space remediation and things like that.
I left that out. Dang it.
And so so he saw a niche, and he had the experience in pest control. Yeah. Starting back from when we both got out of the United States Navy in 2005, he started right into pest control. And a few years ago, he brought me on board to help out with this business, and I've been learning a lot about pest and pest control and those kind of things.
And you guys were just what, number two?
Number two for Richmond Times Dispatch Best of, and last year we were number 3. So yeah. We're moving along.
Next year's the year, man.
Next year's the year for us to be number 1 and keep on moving.
I feel like it's something that mortgage, you have to be so accountable to people because it's so expensive and people just want trust, implicit trust. Mm-hmm. I feel like you're kind of in that same vein. Like when you have a problem when someone's inside your house, they want you to be like, I'm going to fix this. It's going to cost this much. It's never, ever, ever going to happen again, right?
Right, exactly. And with pest control, a lot of times we get phone calls from folks. They're afraid of these things, whether it's roaches, rodents, people don't like spiders and those things. It freaks people out. They're uncomfortable, so they want a solution. And Victory Pest Management has those solutions for everybody and every personality and things like that.
Yeah, I think I've used every single one of your services. I think the first thing was the mosquito service. Yep. You guys have the most. People will advertise that they have mosquito services. They will go out there and do a whole dog and pony show, and then I will get bit the next day. My children, with apparently the sugary sweet skin that those mosquitoes will get bit. The first time I used your treatment worked perfect, and every time since. So I would imagine that's a really good entry point for you guys, right? As far as like, I have this one problem, but I mean, anytime I've had, like I had ants one time, I think you helped me with that.
You had, I call them a super colony.
Okay.
Congratulations, Raleigh.
They reached your upstairs from your garage space, and they were in some insulation and things like that in your crawl space and outside in your garage. But the thing with Victory Pest Managers, we go find where those guys are. We find their trails.
You're really good at the why. Yes. I've definitely gotten a why with everything.
Why and where. Right? Why and where are they coming from, and how can we help you? And how can you help yourself solve that problem so you're comfortable being in your home and you don't have those pests?
So let's start like simple. What's your bread and butter as far as pest management? Like, I'm sure you would say like the preventatives and everything, but like, what's your most common problem people are calling you with? At least right now.
Right now, it's a lot of American roaches.
Okay.
That is
the good ones. Those are good.
I mean, none of them are great. You don't want them in your home. That's why you're calling me.
They're really loud, though, right?
Yes, but they're so loud. But they get in this time of year. They're looking for warmer weather, warmer temperatures. They like to be in 80 degrees or above.
Okay.
So they're looking for your appliances, water, and they can survive off of those things. That warmth and a little bit of water and food crumbs and things like that. So preventively keeping those things, your floors cleaned and kitchens cleaned and doors sealed up and those kind of things prevent from keeping them coming in, and our preventive maintenance around your
As
home.
You've seen, I've lived in two very different houses.
Yes.
And I have encountered very different problems.
Yes.
I have not changed much.
No.
You worked on both. I definitely had less pests with you. Part of it was like I was at a tri-level that was sunken, for a better term. Like I would say the bottom level was half below ground level.
Yep.
And I would have roaches, whatever, all the time, seemingly no matter what I did, coming in that back door.
Yes.
This house, I don't have that problem at all.
Right.
So I say that to say, don't be insecure, people. It might not be your fault totally. You might just have gotten dealt a rough hand.
Yes.
That being said, there is a solution to things like that.
There are solutions to like that. And that is, when you have basements and slabs, it's closer to the ground where more pests are roaming, and they get through those cracks in those doors.
A lot more moisture too.
And the moisture's there. Very good. Thank you. Moisture in crawl spaces, and it's dark.
Yeah.
And it can be cool in the summer and warmer in the winters and things like that. So they're looking for those places to harbor.
Do you remember the first time that you had to do a job in a crawl space?
Yeah, the first day I showed up to work.
What a great answer.
But I've been in crawl spaces before, just through previous.
So it's just me that's scared of them. Got it. Cool.
No, most people, they'll tell me they've never been in their crawl space, and you might have a few be like, I crawled in there and I couldn't see anything, and that makes me feel good that they're crawling in there. But then you go in there and it's still, I'm 5'3", I'm not a big man, but I get in pretty tight spaces and it's claustrophobic in there, but we go in there and we find what we need to and figure it out. And
that would be such an adjustment for me. But I will say, Dan made me get in my crawl space once, and it's not so bad once you're down there, especially that one is really nice and big. The other one that I used to have, follow up, you guys do an amazing job at making nasty crawl spaces look really, really great. I'm not saying I had a nasty crawl space. I'm saying that afterwards, I had a brand new, shiny, could have had a picnic down there crawl space.
Yes. And those are my favorite crawl spaces to go into, the ones that are clean and refreshed and all that good stuff. But
Comcast guys didn't leave old cables down there
everywhere.
Dude, once I saw that at my house, when I looked at like buying another house, I saw that everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It might not just be Comcast. Verizon probably does it too, but like trash everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Check your crawl spaces, people. There's trash in it.
Check your crawl spaces. Sure. Maintain them. Don't use them as storage. That kind of thing. Those are just different places for folks and pests
and they have those vents on the side.
There's something about the vents on the side. Yeah.
So I had at my house, I have those little slidey vents on the side.
Yes.
Nobody knows what they do. Turns out, I solved the mystery. They allow airflow to go through the crawl space.
Where'd you learn that?
So I learned that because my my bathroom upline to go to my shower froze with a big old shotgun slug of ice. Burst Christmas Eve. Dan had COVID, was worthless, had to call and do it myself. Thank you. Slotting in nicely. He might be a regular. So I got down there and had to do all this fix that totally empowered me and kind of led to this podcast, honestly.
So glad you figured that out.
All by myself.
All by yourself. That's great.
That's why I don't face him, because then I can just...
You can just turn away. I get it.
Thank you, Dan. God, it's fine.
And the facial expressions he has are incredible.
The beard is almost cheating. He looks like Walter White. It's not fair.
Yes.
Like, not the like meth dealy one, but the one where he was in the winter, you know. You haven't watched Breaking Bad. No. We could do a whole episode on the shows that Dan hasn't watched. Totally out of just digging in. Too many people told him to watch it. What's your favorite show? He hasn't seen it.
My favorite show, I don't have Ted Lasso. Hopefully it comes back for season 4 here soon.
Have you ever seen Ted Lasso?
I saw a couple episodes.
I'm going to live in this moment for a minute. I love...
Okay, you got to just at least watch that. I mean, it's only 30-minute episodes. Just
I liked what I saw. It just I didn't
so continue on.
That show's bread and butter. You're going to like everything you see. It'll be controversial for a second, and then they'll make you feel better. Like, they don't leave you being like, oh.
Yeah, you feel good at the end of the show. Mm-hmm. So
I mean, I liked what I saw. I didn't get the...
Not enough.
I didn't get the hooks.
What's your favorite show right now, Dan?
Great British Baking Show. It's a new season.
Okay. Ask me if I've ever seen the Great British Baking Show. No, I've never seen it. I'll never. The answer is this show. The answer was this show.
Oh yeah, no, this is it.
I mean,
this is it.
Yeah, it's this one.
Okay. Anyways, back on track. So crawl space encapsulation, gutter cleaning, going to be probably the easiest thing for anybody watching this right now to call you about, right?
Yes.
How often? Because I would say I'm getting a truckload every day. Should you just wait as long as you can? Should you call you every weekend?
No, don't call us every weekend. That could get a little bit more expensive than you plan on it. But biggest thing is at least a couple times a year, if you're living in a wooded area, you've got a lot of pine trees. If you've got a lot of oak trees, dropping acorns, dropping leaves, dropping all that stuff, and landing on your roof, getting into your gutters.
What do you think about like gutter guards or those foam inserts or any of that? Is any of that worth anything?
I think some of them are. Yeah. Yes. They all have their place, right? All of them have their place. We have gutter guards on my house, but then, I get pine needles and other things that just stick on my roof instead of going off. So and
you still have to get them clean. So is it worth the cost? I think that's what I've always thought. If anybody should have them, I should have them. Like my house is in the bat cave.
But at the same time, you could spend a little bit less getting them cleaned and maintaining them, just like maintaining your trees and shrubs that are creating the leaves.
I feel like you subtly told me that so many times, and I've never done it. But
probably
spiders and stuff dropping down from there, right?
Yes, roaches, ants. They use those as their highways and byways to your gutters, to your soffits, to your home. So keeping them clean and free from your home helps eliminate those pests and places for them to harbor, and also water damage from gutters if they get overflowed and they're stuffed. We've had gutters where it's a lap pool for a doggone frog. I went up there and I was cleaning out one section and there's a frog swimming back and forth. So, on the roof. So the coming from, again, trees, hopping onto your roof.
Yep.
Keeping them away from you.
Well, and I'll tell you, the last person that cleaned my gutters before I met you was a guy who was, just a guy. Everybody knows a guy that does gutters. Mm-hmm. This guy looks like most guys that do gutters, I imagine. He has a tie-dye shirt, a bandana, poor people skills, and he took a leaf blower or whatever he was doing up there, and he blew my screen right off my window, landed right on the hood of my car.
Yes.
And he didn't tell me, and he just left.
Oh,
and I was like, dude, come on, man.
Yeah. Well, we have a pretty sweet system for ours. We have what's called a skyvac. So it's an actual vacuum, and we can reach up to 40 feet or so with the vacuum, and it sucks them right out. We put them in a bag and haul them away with us, so we're not leaving all the debris blowing around your house where then we have to call a Florida Pro and get a house wash and stuff like that. So
free plug. There you go.
There you go.
We'll get them on soon. In the middle of our networking meeting today, he showed his scars from his surgery. It was fantastic, and talked about...
I think you need to get the brothers both on here.
Oh, big time.
Yes.
Big time. Yes. It's every time one of them talks, I'm like, I got to hear more. I got to hear more. Mm-hmm. We'll make them next, maybe. Maybe we'll do that. Oh, wait, we got a Christmas episode lined up. Cut that. You had mentioned debris. That reminded me, you were the first person that ever told me all those leaves and stuff around your house. Not only is it not ideal for the home itself, but that's where bugs just straight up breed, grow, flourish.
Yes, where they want to be, where they they, like you said, they flourish. That's their food. That's their source.
Yeah.
So everything, all pests have a source.
Okay.
And if we're giving them that source, which is
That's a good way to think of it.
Leaves or crumbs or clutter,
Mm-hmm.
those are places for them to harbor, to be. So taking away those things and maintaining your home and and yourself, and then having a program and people like Victory Pest Management, professionals coming and helping maintain, treat around your doors and windows and your foundation, and keeping that barrier safe and protected from those pests.
Okay.
Are there good pests? That's
Sure.
Symbiotic pests?
right? But like things you.
Are like spiders and mosquitoes? Like you get one of
that
more
sort of
one less of the
relationship.
other type of thing.
Yeah, I mean nobody's in love with spiders. Somebody's in love with spiders, but
almost certainly.
But spiders are generally considered a pest and an annoyance, whether they're venomous or irritating or not or anything. But there's is this a bring in the cat to chase the mice, then you got to bring in the dogs to chase the cat situation?
I mean, there are some situations we haven't had to implement any of those or have like a rat dog.
You don't have any rat dogs.
We do not.
Cross off all those questions about the rat dogs.
Page 2 is
Man,
done.
I thought y'all were cool.
You can tell us about the rat dog. We'll cut the camera.
Cut that.
You know, they're probably in some other places they do those things. But we do have some customers that have asked us if the spiders aren't obtrusive. You know, you're not walking out of a door to a big, huge orb weaver and getting hit in the face. Then, yes, plenty of people have.
Yeah, I feel like when I was growing up, it was like kill it all with fire, everybody, and now it's people are a little more amenable to an ecosystem.
We're not going to treat your yard for spiders, right? So we'll keep them off your home as much as we can. Lizards aren't bad to have around because they eat up your insects, but then they can become a nuisance because they poop all in your garage, and that's annoying.
That same ilk of, people being more cognizant of, the environment. Mm-hmm. What are you guys doing to accommodate that for people that want to make sure not only the environment's good, but their pets, their kids, all that stuff?
Keeping your home free of clutter and having an integrated pest management program where we're there using less chemical, like when we treat inside, treat around your baseboards, cracks and crevices, those entry points, and letting the customer and clients know and homeowners know that sealing up these things and those preventive measures will help along with that.
Sure.
With the eco-friendly pest control, those 25B products, the more natural products, they don't have the longest standing residual. They don't leave a long residual. So your program may take more times to be there. We may have to be there more often.
Yeah.
So instead of a quarterly maintenance plan, you might be on a 1 month or 2 month, depending on your issue.
Though, like your mosquitoes stuff is like safe for my kids to be like, they've been licking it after you leave. That's fine, right?
I mean, to a degree, as long as they're not chewing on the leaves and rolling around. Yeah, the mosquito is safe in the yards, and we also do provide a more eco-friendly base to help with our mosquitoes, so we are not using that much of a barrier spray. We've lessened our barrier spray with some mosquito traps. They're more natural, biochemical, where the females lay their eggs and they can't reproduce. And, growth regulator kind of thing.
That makes sense. See, I was brought up, my mom used to say if the medicine tastes bad, that means it works.
Right.
It's kind of like that. Like, you got to have some give and take.
Yes.
That makes sense.
And some products, some of the organic or more natural eco-friendly products, they're more oily, so they can leave a residue and stain things. So that's something just to be aware of.
Is there anything beyond like, I would imagine most dog and cat owners have flea collars. Is there anything beyond that like pet owners should look at as far as what they're bringing into the house, like how to prevent that? Cats are gross is my point.
I'm not a big fan of cats either.
Yeah.
They make me sneeze and my eyes water, and they hiss at you all the time for no reason. So they're not friends of yours.
Like a cat.
Yeah, that's a cat. Dogs, they're beautiful animals that love you.
They're perfect.
And
we agree.
They give you more attention than anybody else as long as you just pet them.
For nothing. Just for existing.
Nothing. Just for walking
leaving
in
for
the door.
30 seconds.
You walk in the door, they're like, glad you're here. And
Can't wait to hear all about your day.
yeah, yes, I want to hear. I can't understand you, but you're here and I'm here.
I'm stoked about it.
Yeah. So
I miss my dog. I haven't had a dog in forever. I have none of that energy in my house. It's like, God, we've been waiting for you. Do this, do this, do this. You said yesterday you would do this. This transformer needs to be a dinosaur, not a robot, and I can't do it myself.
I'm with you. I've got 3 children at home, so.
Yeah, in the meeting today, somebody named Chase spoke, and I just heard you mumble to yourself, Chase is on the case. And I was like,
certainly did.
That man's brain is fried like mine.
Yes. When you have kids, it's.
Do you listen to car theme song or TV theme songs in the car?
Thankfully, no.
Okay.
Because I enjoy music and I listen to all kinds of music. And luckily, my children love their little iPads and they play music all the time. So when we get in to listen to all kinds of music when we get in the truck. And
what's your jam right now? What's your favorite song right now?
Right now,
a favorite song. You don't have to make it your identity.
It's anything by Stick Figure right now, which is a.
Do you know who that is?
No,
it's
that's
a
new.
reggae band.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
So, in anything in that genre, we listen to.
So, if you're in a crawl
lot
space, are you jamming reggae? Just keep it mellow.
Either that or a podcast here and there.
Okay.
So,
what's your go-to podcast other than this one? Save you that.
I have a few. Theo Vaughn, Weekend Explained.
I love Theo Vaughn.
Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah, he's crushing it right now.
Yes. we'll leave him on the side.
I just was telling him about Theo Vaughn the other day. I sent him a clip, and it wasn't because he's insightful or whatever. It's because the way that he just exists as a person forces his guests to explain things to a 5-year-old. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, but what?
Yeah.
And that's great to listen to. It helps you. You're right there with it.
But then his stories and his banter back is incredible.
He's got a weird brain.
He's very witty.
He does. And it's either really, really intelligent or he's just been through a whole lot of stuff, which is, I think, both. And he's just trying to express himself.
I think so, too. One of my youngest son, his name is Ozzy. He recently found out that Ozzy Osbourne exists because he loves the song Crazy Train.
All right. Great
now,
song.
every morning I'm rotating Crazy Train. This is him telling me what he wants to listen to. Crazy Train, No More Tears, Bark at the Moon, and Iron Man, Black Sabbath.
Okay.
He loves it. And he's like, my name's Ozzy. His name's Ozzy. It's all the rules.
We're Ozzy brothers.
It's
rocking out, dude.
People try to overcomplicate parenting. It's really easy.
just enjoy the moment with the kids is my biggest thing.
Yeah.
Be there for them, and because they're always going to be there for you. And just
it has nothing to do with homeownership, but I have seen you with your kids. I feel like we're similar ilk dads.
Yes, I would believe so.
Probably get walked on a little bit too much, but a little fun. I saw your 3-year-old dragging you around like that.
Oh, yeah. He's like, we're going here.
I don't remember. I feel like our generation, for lack of a better term, is really focused on work-life balance. I feel like we hear that in networking all the time, and that is not something that I heard until I was an adult. I think we're pioneering figuring it out,
we are, and both of us having businesses and people that we work with and other things like managing all that, and you learn how to manage your time with them the best that you can, and
not bring work home.
Right,
that's hard.
It's very hard, or bring the feelings of work home.
Dan's I would argue Dan is elite at that. I would say that you have switches inside, right? Little toggle switches, buckets, and I just see them flip.
Boxes, yeah.
His clock will tick, and you're just like, don't care anymore. All right, hey, family.
Yeah, I've worked from home for almost 10 years. And
wow.
So the COVID
before
thing,
it was cool.
Yeah, before it was cool. So the COVID thing, the only thing that really changed for me was that I had other people in the house now instead of being in the house by myself.
That's a small change, though, right? Not a big deal.
Yeah, sure. And my rule is that after I'm done with work, and I don't always work the same hours every day or anything, but after I'm done,
or even American hours, really.
Or even American hours, yeah.
Hold your phone up right now. Oh wait, I'm using it. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's got 20 o'clock or something on it. It's weird.
Yeah.
He's a CIA agent, I think.
Oh.
Anyways, keep going.
My other phone is a shoe.
Okay.
But
that's a 60-year-old Get Smart reference. Is that what that was?
Maybe.
Maybe. That's the last movie you saw.
All right, it's his podcast now. Oh, that's so good.
But my work phone stays in my office. It doesn't come out of that room unless I'm like on a business
I didn't
trip.
even know that. I like that.
Wow.
Boundaries.
It only comes out of the office for if I need to record something or if I'm traveling. That's the only time. Whatever happens in that room is my work life, and whatever happens outside of that room is my home life.
It sounds so simple when he says it.
It
like
does.
it sounds like
It
so
does.
easy. It's just
takes a lot
like
of discipline.
eat
Takes a lot of
healthier.
practice.
Oh, okay.
A lot of
Takes a lot of
practice.
failure.
10 years.
What's the worst pest problem you've ever had in a home or even rental that you were in?
Man, okay, so I took ownership of a property a couple of years ago that was completely abandoned and should have been condemned for about 3 years. So there was foundation issues, structural issues, tons of holes to the outside, tons of exposure, literally like middle of the kitchen floor, giant hole in it. And we found several carcasses in the house that had been there for a long, long, long time.
Can you clarify what kind of carcasses real quick?
I'm not even sure.
sounds
Like
like
that's how
cats and
old they
rats.
were.
It's a person, you don't call it a carcass, right?
It was bigger.
I hope not.
It was bigger.
He's cold.
Yeah. I don't think he's moving.
It was. I would say it was bigger than a squirrel, but smaller than a dog. Like smaller than your typical dog.
Cat.
So it could have been a cat.
It's called a cat. He was
Could have
trying
been
to
a
raccoon.
raccoon.
After the rat.
I get it. Yeah.
Could have been raccoon. Could have been groundhog.
It
Could have been something
been.
like that. Like
Just not as big as a
Chupacabra.
dog.
yeah. And honestly, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you. Is like, where do you draw the line between like pest control and animal control?
Ooh. And
Does it have to have teeth? Is that
We don't do wildlife, so squirrels, birds,
Okay.
bats, those kind of
bats
things.
are like a big protected class, right?
Very much so.
Yeah.
There's
think some
a lot
people
of
love
that,
steel-
man. Yeah.
They do.
Big deal.
He's protected.
he's
He's
protecting?
Yeah, he's
Actually,
protecting.
a lot of
That's
people get
true.
that.
But nobody knows who he is, so I don't know how to protect him.
Well, you don't
I think he's a vampire.
He's bad.
He's a bat.
No, that was a Twilight joke. Keep going. The line between animal and pest.
Yeah. So like, what's the?
Is there a legal line?
Yeah.
It's just like, don't
Oh,
touch
really?
these.
Yeah.
So like, I mean,
There's different licenses for wildlife versus just general pest.
General
and
pest.
termite and
Okay,
those
interesting.
kind of things. So
if I had a snake in my attic space and I didn't know what kind of snake it was, I didn't know if it was venomous or adult or anything. I just saw like a snake skin up in my attic.
call us and I'll give you some recommendations. But a local wildlife company would help you with that kind
What
of
if I call you and tell you it's a worm, and then you get out there and find out it's a snake? What are you gonna do?
I would say we'll pick up the worm.
Yes. All right, good. Calling for worms. So like bats, I mean, we don't need to talk about that, right? People aren't dealing with things like that. Coyotes? Are people calling you about coyotes?
They don't call us about coyotes. We did have a customer in this week did contact us because they heard some things in their attic and it was a squirrel.
Okay. How are
this
squirrels
is-
getting in attics these days?
Cable
Soffits,
vents
right?
and soffits
Yeah.
that are not sealed up.
Let's assume people don't all know what a soffit is.
It is where you have your gutters and your roof line, the overhang there. A lot of times you'll see siding or those pieces flapping down. That's an entry point for birds, and anything really. Birds, squirrels,
I think
raccoons.
I called you one time with a bird in the wall situation. Do you
You had a
remember
bird
that
in the
phone
wall
call?
situation?
I had a bird in the wall situation. I asked him, should I put another bird in there?
Well, you should have put a cat in there.
Should have put a snake in there? What should I put in there?
You
No.
put another bird in, they fall in love, and then they feel inspired to get out, is what I was hoping.
That's where the term empty nester comes from.
Yes.
Yeah, he was just like, yeah, that sounds like a bird. I'm not going to get it out.
Right.
You can figure the rest out yourself.
Yes.
Let me get you started. It's a bird.
It was such a nice way of him being like that.
It's
sounds...
when you tell me it's chirping.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, that's
You're
not
either
a
talking about a Honda Civic or a bird.
Yeah,
One or the
Drop
other.
in the comments, am I a bad person for not punching a hole in the wall and pulling that bird to freedom?
No.
Okay, good, because I don't like
You
birds.
got in
If
there,
I'm
you
being
can figure
honest,
it
I
out.
don't like birds.
One, we eat birds, which is weird in general, but two, birds aren't real.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a whole different podcast.
Is
That's
it
on the dark web.
Is it really different?
That's our dark web
podcast?
podcast.
That's the dark web one?
Yeah,
I
Chris
think
Reed's
that's
phone
for-
goes.
I think that's Homeowners Explained on the weekends.
After dark.
Ooh, write that down. That's a good idea. I got a neon sign with my name on it. That's all
There
I'm
you
saying.
go.
All right. Now we've gone totally off book. What do you, let me think. All right. Homeownership. When So you come out of the Navy. You were here beforehand, right? You're from Richmond?
I grew up Short Pump area.
Okay. When there were horses, I'll save it for you, right?
Yeah.
There was horses there?
Yep.
My wife says that every
a while
time.
ago. Went to Godwin High School.
Okay.
And joined the Navy May of 2001.
Okay.
And then lived in Virginia Beach after boot camp and training in Pensacola, Florida.
In Oceana?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I worked on F-18 Hornets.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Their electronic systems, navigation, and weapons.
Wow.
Pretty much their whole cockpit. And
That's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it was a good job. I enjoyed it. Military lifestyle was not for me after 4 years.
Why so? Just the cog and the wheel situation?
I didn't want to be going all the time.
Okay.
And I eventually wanted to have a family like I do now.
Yeah. Job well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. I would say victory.
Victory, yes.
I thought of something else, but that was such a good one. I just wanted to sit in it for a minute. Seems like you're kind of a master homeowner. You don't seem troubled by it. It's easy for you to buy a home. It's easier for you to own a home. You're not really giving me anything to work with here. What's your most troublesome homeownership experience? Most strife you've ever faced?
Wife and 3 kids. I'm just kidding. Probably for me.
Welcome to Marriage Explained.
I would say honestly, my own pest control sometimes.
Yeah.
Just because I'm doing it elsewhere, and
I used the doctors are the worst patients analogy this morning when I was talking to one of my loan officers. He has a realtor that he's trying to help buy a house for herself, and she will not provide documents, won't be specific about anything, and he's like, "This is what I hate. You're doing the thing I hate."
So I do a very good job of controlling the rodents and certain things, but I'm not the biggest. I don't go around with a spider brush like I do for every customer.
A spider brush.
Yeah. So
tell me about a spider brush.
So on our quarterly services and even your one-time services, but specifically on your quarterly services, we go around to your doors and windows and we wipe the spider brush and knock the spider webs down and things like that. And some customers, like we explained earlier, they don't want all the spider webs knocked down, so we don't do that on those homes. We make notes of that. So it's all personal to those people. But we knock them down and then treat around those windows to prevent that kind of thing. But I probably don't do that as often as I should at my house because my family lets me know.
So what are, I think we were talking about, like, what are some of the signs that somebody should look for to say, okay, I have a real problem here? Like, other than an animal, not an animal, a pest walking around, what are things to look out for?
Really look out for ants specifically. I mean, that's probably one of the number one things we get, phone calls. You start getting those phone calls in March, and I mean, they go on through the summer as ants. They're getting into my kitchen. They're getting into my bath.
It's always the kitchen.
Well, what's in the kitchen? Water, crumbs. Your people make lemonade and that stuff spills on the counter. They're not cleaning it up.
You're saying don't make lemonade. That's what
I'm
you're
not saying don't make lemonade.
If life gives you lemons, call Victory Pest Management.
Right. After you make the lemonade, call us so you don't have ants drinking your lemonade with you.
People are gross. People will just leave food out on their counters and stuff, man. You got to keep those things. My wife says you got to keep them clean. You got to clean them every night. Yes. Got to be quiet while I do it.
But you
wear
guys
tidy
have
whities.
Very clean house yourselves, and the ants were not in places like that.
Yeah,
for
she
you
saw
guys, 3
and was like, "We have a problem. I don't accept this."
Right. So some people might call that a problem if they're seeing 3, but if you're seeing a trail of ants, then that's a problem. If you once a month you see a roach or a spider get into your home, I wouldn't call that an issue. But if you're seeing them coming in multiple times, and you're seeing them more often than 3 or 4 times a week, and you're like, wow, I've got an issue. So you kind of look out for those kind of things. Or for mice, it's droppings in underneath your sink or in your bathrooms or garage area. I thought I had a perfect kind of veneer around my house, and every year, 2 years, I find some new little nook and cranny in my house that something's been in. The last was so I have that room over the garage. Yes. They have those knee walls. Yep.
And I noticed that something had been chewing in something. I'm assuming it was a mouse. And that, because it's just kind of a direct overhang straight up out of the house. I was just sitting there going, they didn't finish this. It's not done.
Right to your soffits. Again, those entry points, those places where those guys.
Is that common? Like most people, that would be considered finished? I looked at that and I was like, that doesn't look finished at all to me.
I mean, the knee wall, it's not finished inside.
I don't mean finished like at home, but like they are done with what they intended to do with that home. There's not something missing. Like,
yes.
So would it be, I mean, tell me, I should kind of.
Should move.
Close that.
You should move and burn the house
Probably
down.
burn it, yeah.
I mean, you said a mouse chewed on it, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's tainted. It's not worth it anymore.
That is what Lindsay said about that box. Because everything in there is now gone.
But sealing that up, so with either some kind
whatever
of
you say is what you're going to
screen.
do. So just be careful with what you say. I'm going to ask you to do everything that you say right now.
Okay.
You could use like mesh or like expanding foam.
Expanding foam, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, just
like insulation, like that kind of stuff.
Kitchens are tough because there's so many holes in the floors and in the walls and stuff. You've got a lot of like high voltage electricity coming in. There's plumbing, there's drains, there's vents for your range hoods and your microwaves and stuff like that. So there's a lot of penetration in the kitchen.
There is, and those, and with those. That being said, you can use Brillo pads or something rough, because mice don't like putting their nose through something that'll scratch it all up.
I have something similar in the dryer vent at my house because birds still will just come up and be like, "What's up with that?"
Yep.
You know. All right, what else we got, Daniel? You're so efficient with answers.
I'm writing down penetration in the kitchen. Just for later.
Is that your notes for Katie?
It's for later.
Oh, it's for later.
All right.
That's why he gets the pink one.
I'm starting a punk band.
Max had a really good one yesterday. The other day I wrote down. Doesn't matter. My phone's over there. I'm not going to go look.
You told me. You sent it to me, yeah.
Jetpack Bingo. That was
a good one.
Jetpack Bingo. We're watching Bluey. We're a big Bluey family. You know.
My older kids didn't watch that much. My youngest, he's been watching it. And my wife has watched it a few times, and it's kind of funny if you sit down and watch it.
Oh, it's really good.
Like it's therapeutic for yourself.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're like, wow, I could actually be a better parent right now.
You turned me on. He specifically was like, Takeaway. Watch the episode called Takeaway. And that one.
Episode Takeaway. Do you know what season it is? No,
season 1, I'm sure.
It's the first one.
It came out strong.
Season 1, episode 7-1.
There's that one, and there's one where they go to the movies. Those are the two where I've just felt very seen as a parent. But they hammer that dad a lot.
Yeah.
He'll be like, stop, and they don't stop, and everybody laughs. And I'm like, wait, can we talk about this?
Can we
back it up a little
bit? I think we need to all go to a dad therapy class and watch Bluey.
Yeah, where's the bandit whips ass?
Yeah, we do it in the Outer Banks every year. I think we just yeah, we do it. We do it. There's lots of alcohol. Bring more of that.
Got it.
Is there any cool like equipment or technology or
when he said rat brush, mouse brush, spider brush, I was like, in my head, I was like, ask him the coolest sounding equipment he has.
So like Skyvac, like immediately turned on. That's good stuff.
So that's for our gutters. We have one that hooks right up to a generator, and sucks. And then we have another one that is engine and motor itself. It's a little bit bigger, and that's my favorite technology for the gutters, obviously.
You get excited when you get to use that? Like, do you get fired up? What do you get fired up to do? Not dive in a crawl space.
Help people out.
Oh, that's a good answer.
Really.
It's a good answer.
Really, like, I'm not always the most comfortable guy in situations, but when you can go help somebody, because people have fear. Like, I don't have a fear of spiders. Like, it's a spider. I don't have a fear of roaches. I don't want a whole bunch of them running around all over the place, but I don't have a fear of that. But people do, and if you can make them feel comfortable, that's what fires me up, is helping somebody out, and then our ability to cross over our products and what we do.
Yeah, I would say that it is. As a homeowner, I'm looking for so many like certain solutions. I would say that you taking over the management of the pests and all related things to my home, I don't ever worry about it.
And we're always there for you too. So even if I did treat your house today, and you won't see me for 3 months, we're there for in between.
Yeah.
So we're protecting your home, and we come up with the program for you and what you're looking for and what your pests are.
And what are common mistakes that you see people making by obviously not calling you, but like, home remedies that don't work, or, I would imagine everything at the grocery store is 30% as effective as what you use?
I mean, they're less effective. Some of them will work depending on the size of the infestation, what the infestation is.
Yeah.
Some of those products that you can buy at a store,
I mean, flypaper works, but like those little traps.
That's disgusting, dude. You want flypaper hanging off your... Don't, please.
Lindsay says we don't.
So with flies, it's always a source, right? Whether it's, moisture in your plants, crap in your trash cans.
I'm hunting for standing water anywhere around my
those
home.
Those are all your sources. Like with those kind of insects or pests is source. It's your kitchen sink. It's the gunk in there. It's the toothpaste and crap in your other sinks. So cleaning those out.
I've been to my house. I mean, I can't refute any of this.
Right. So I've been to everybody's houses.
Put that on the side of the van.
Yeah. I've been to your house. I know what you have in your sinks.
All your secrets.
All houses are very, very similar, and all people, but all people are different in how they treat their home or
where they live. Honestly,
how they live.
I live 15 minutes away from where I used to live, and I deal with completely different problems. It just depends on your lot and the home and when it was built and who took care of it before you. Because
correct.
If you got a dishwasher that leaks a teeny bitty bit, that's going to eat away at that subfloor, and then it's just game. I have seen that happen in the van so many times. So if people want to contact you and say, Mike, I want to have complete peace of mind when it comes to my home and the integrity of it being pest free, what's the best way for them to contact you?
You can call Ryan. Yeah, call Ryan at the office because he has so much time to answer the phone.
Ooh.
No, I'm just kidding. He does not. He's a busy man. Call us at 804-245-8110 or reach out to us on our Facebook page. Reach out to us on our website, victorypm.com.
Yep. I will tell you, scheduling with you guys is the easiest thing on the planet. It's just somebody sends me a text, tells me when they're coming. I'll say, I've even replied before and said like, hey, I just put down grass seed. Don't walk through my yard, please. And they were like, sure, no problem. Like it is, if you are an agoraphobic, if you are a young person who can't pick up the phone and call people, Victory's even better.
Yes. Give us a shout. We will be there to help you out with your problems, whether it's pest, gutters, or crawl spaces. We're there for you, and we won't take you to the bank. We'll just let you know what we can do to help you and how you can help us help yourself.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Crushed it.
Thank you.
That's our show this week, everybody. Thanks for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe on these videos and these podcasts to see more. What is it?
Sorry, I'm getting into character. You look so sad. Yeah, I'm a good actor.
If you have any questions for us, have any recommendations for the show, or you'd like to be a guest, send us an email at homeownershipexplained@gmail.com. We're also looking for new sponsors for the show, so if that's something that interests you and you'd like some publicity for your business, feel free to email us at homeownershipexplained@gmail.com. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.